Real estate, real estate, real estate. In Houston, we have close to 40 to 50,000 people in the business, residential, commercial, or a combination of them. And I believe the barrier to becoming a realtor or the bar is relatively low. You take some classes, pass the exam, get your fingerprints done, and you have a license. At the same time, we believe that real estate allows us to create a generational wealth that you pass down to your kids and grandkids. I got my license in 2013, switched over to doing it full time in 2014. Your timeline is 2021, you got your license.
18.
2018.
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
2018, you got your license, and you've been doing full time for the last 5 to 7 years. But most people in our market, or any market, they think it's all about, which is what they see on HDTV, unlock an amazing home,
And wear stilettos, right?
or whatever those are,
Yes.
and open the door and show a few things, and you get $1 million paycheck. It's far from being truthful. It's all about the basics, Smita, where this business is competitive, but it's all about building relationship partnerships and agents' progress in life. I was doing rental deals, then some buyer contracts, then residential listings, and now we're doing commercial transactions. I want to hear your perspective, Smita, as a woman, somebody who juggles multiple things. You have family commitments, kids commitments, and all the other things. And then being a realtor. Share with me your mindset, your thought process about your journey, being a realtor. And then, of course, I want to talk about your ongoing journey being an expert in commercial space.
Absolutely. One thing I'll say, I don't consider myself to be a realtor. I believe I'm a real estate entrepreneur.
Love
because
that.
it is my business. It is now our business where we're doing Seth Commercial, and we will do whatever it takes to get it done, right?
So first is terminology.
100%.
You're not just a realtor, you're a real estate
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Yes.
Love that. Okay.
Absolutely. But yeah, so my journey started in 2019, actually. And I was when I got into real estate, had no idea about real estate. Learned everything, of course.
No, time out. Of course you did. I do believe, and I'm aware of this factually, you had bought and sold homes prior to that. So while you may not have been licensed, but you had done transactions as a family. Correct?
We did do transactions, but I had no interest. Like, I really had no interest in real estate.
Okay.
So when I got into it, it was more to just prove y'all wrong that I can't do this, like literally. But I think the shift really happened when I shifted my mindset from, oh, okay, I'm going to sell homes versus this is my business. And at the end of the day, the customer or the client is whatever their needs are, I'm going to figure out a way to make sure that we're able to fulfill them.
That is powerful, Smita. Powerful, because a lot of people, a lot of women as well, get their license to sell a home, to prove to themselves, to prove to their family member, prove to whoever. And you said that was your mindset as well. But you had a shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that shift has got you tremendous, tremendous success. I want to go deep down, Smita. What was that shift? How that happened? And what really changed in your strategy or your mindset when the shift happened?
So, when you start real estate, like any other real estate agent, be it residential or commercial, the first thing you do is, okay, let me learn the business. Let me learn the nitty gritty of it, which can take 2 months, 2 years. It depends on the person. When I got into it, of course, I was head down for the first 6 months, and I was just, let me learn whatever I can. There are some people that get into that rut of perfectionism to say, okay, let me just keep learning because I don't know enough. But I believe because of my experience, my entrepreneurial experience, and just the way I'm wired, to me, okay, I've learned the basics. Now let me start applying it, and then I'm going to learn on the job. So that's basically how it started. And then eventually I realized that I used to own retail stores prior to this, and I had a service-based business. Real estate is a service-based business. That's what it is. you have something that a client is requiring, or the client requires something, you have something of value to give to them. Let's find how we can marry them together. So I think very early on, within 6 to 8 months, is when my, I guess, core mindset came into play. And that's how I started looking at my business.
Do you think in the first 6 months, and I have the transaction history, you had success, but it took some time? Do you feel, Smita, when agents get in the business and when you're new, you have your cheerleaders, you have your support group, you have family members and friends who commit to your success, and a lot of realtors get a lot of success, do a few transactions, make money, and then they plateau, and then they go down. And I remember your growth was also relatively, steady but slow. Had you had a lot of success within the first 2 months, bunch of contracts, bunch of closing, bunch of money, would that have changed your mindset where, you know what, this is it, I can make money? I'm not saying you do not have success, but success was gradual. I mean, for me, when I got my license, after about 3.5 months, I had my first closing, and I got $1,950, less than $2,000 after 3.5 months working on this foreclosure listing. And it took a period of time, but that kept me going. So I would say, did I have a successful start? On paper, no, but that taught me so many things about resilience, market conditions, transactions, being realistic, and you contract today when it closes. Your initial growth was gradual, but was in the right direction. A lot of agents get impatient. They get the license, they close a deal, and they want the same results over and over again. While you had a shift in your mindset in 6 to 8 months, but how did you talk yourself into being patient through the process, Smita?
Kunal, I think that's a great question. And this is something that I'm going to throw back at you as well.
Sure.
Because let's go to COVID times, right? And there are a lot of agents at that time that got their license. They had very quick wins. But what are we seeing now in the industry? They're falling off. I, at the crux of it all, it's about mindset. So throwing this back at you, and then, I'll speak for myself as well. What do you think is the most important mindset for any real estate agent or entrepreneur? I'm going to say real estate entrepreneur to have to be able to have success. And actually, let's take away real estate from it. Let's talk about an entrepreneur in general.
Real estate agent, entrepreneur, employed somewhere, self-employed, it does not matter. Okay, let's not categorize into any bucket. It's very simple, Smita. People who play to win are gonna go so far. People who play to play are always gonna outperform the other ones. It does not matter what industry, what work environment, self-employed or employed, it does not matter. And what I mean by that is, in our business, a win is a closing. That's when we actually get financial success through the transaction. That's a win. Majority of realtors play to win. When they're working with a client, if they get a sense this buyer or this client, it's unlikely they will be able to close or buy a home today or tomorrow. You know what? I'm disengaged. I have no interest in talking to them. The body language, the communication is evident. And what that does is, if I'm not winning, I don't want to waste my time with them. Whereas if you have a mindset, whether it's a client, customer, builder, or your employee, it does not matter. It's all about the long-term game, that I'm in it. Winning may or may not come, but let me play the game to play. That's a basic fundamental that I follow. Yes, I love winning? Absolutely, yes. It pays my bills. I get success with that. But if I was just chasing wins all the time, Smita, my mindset would be different. I would be short-term based, goal-based, rather than long-term based. So I play to play. And the process, I win some and I lose some.
I love it. And actually, a similar take on that is a fixed mindset versus a growth mindset, right? People that in entrepreneurship, real estate agent, real estate entrepreneur, if you have a fixed mindset, you're playing to win that particular transaction. If that transaction does not go through, now you're down in the dumps, you're feeling bad about it, and you don't have money coming in. Whereas when you're having a growth mindset, you're not playing the game for the money. You're playing because you know that you're going to gain something out of it, and you're going to keep going, learn from your mistakes, and move on to the next step.
I get asked a lot of times, Kunal, share with me your biggest failures in life. It's how you define progress in life.
Yeah.
There are ups and downs, the challenges, wins and losses. Failure, there are no failures in life. It's a process, progress, project, whatever you want to call that. It's an outcome of an activity. If you fear failure, you will not have any activity, right? And most people fear that. I don't want to ask her out. I don't want to ask him out because they're going to reject my proposal or me asking them out. That's why they don't have as much activity. So it's very simple, Smita, where when you have the mindset that you are doing this to progress in life, move forward. I may work with 20 clients, none of them may buy a home. But interact with 20 different clients means 20 different interactions, 20 different things I'm learning about them, about the market, about the homes they're looking at. So I look at failures. What the hell is a failure? It's a lesson learned. What could I have done better? Where the outcome may have been different. That's how I look at every. And I've had major ups and downs in a professional career and all of the other things. But it's not failures. It's a lesson learned. So I agree, Smita, where it's the mindset. It's all of these things. And yes, you could be licensed to sell homes. You could be licensed to sell insurance policies or be a physician. Does not matter. It's the mindset. How do you keep your mindset in check, Smita? Because just like everyone, you have multiple balls in the air. You have, parents who live in Houston, husband, you have two boys, and you have Zen, your dog. How do you juggle? How do you keep your mindset focused with all the distractions, Smita?
That's a great question. And yes, I cannot count the number of balls that I have up in the air. So,
Including Zen?
work, Zen, kids, yes. And I'm very hands-on with my boys. So yes, there's a lot to do. But I'm blessed that I have a lot going on, and I enjoy it. For me, it's very important for me to leave a legacy of impact. And I know Kunal is going to be like, wait, that's my term.
That's all right.
Which probably is, I'm borrowing it from you today, Kunal. But really to leave a legacy of impact. And I have a very strong feeling that I'm not going to die.
I'm going to pause you.
Yes.
I'm going to ask again. How do you keep your mindset in check? We'll talk about legacy.
Yes,
it's
yes,
important.
yes.
And I want to hear more about that. But first, I want to talk about, being the person I am. I know my drive, my hunger, and nothing can stop me. I'll do whatever it takes. But a lot of women wear your shoes, where they have commitments towards family, towards kids, to all the other things they have going on in their life. And I believe it's more challenging for a female to commit to client servicing, because if kids are home and they need to be fed, and that's the time your client needs client servicing, and your spouse is at work, well, honey, be home. Because as realtors, we have a flexible schedule. We don't have 9-to-5 jobs. I want to hear about that, Smith. How do you keep your mindset in check? Because there are distractions, there are the commitments. How do you do that, Smith?
So I think it's all about priorities.
Okay.
And the other thing that I talk about a lot is about seasons in life. So in terms of priorities, if you are committed to getting things done, and a couple of things that I really talk about and I follow very closely is, of course, a 90-day year, which I truly believe in because it gets me to do activities that are important short-term as well as long-term, and really execute it. So first, of course, is priorities, to know what needs to get done on a daily basis and whatever projects that you have going on. The other thing is the drive. I mean, if you know that you need to go, you have showings in the evenings, but you have to be home with your kids because your spouse is not there, well, find another agent and pay them $50 and let them go show the home, right? The goal is to get it done, and you'll figure out a way to get it done. So outside of course, what I do for mindset, the day to day is use the 90-day year, very practical. Use your daily priority list, and then to have your mindset primed every day. Different things work for different people. We talk about journaling, we talk about meditation. All of this really gets you going. A lot of people do affirmations in the morning. So whatever it is for you that gets you first in the right mindset to be able to deliver excellence on a daily basis is what we all need to do, and it's different for everybody. I will touch upon the seasons in life.
I want to talk about that.
Yes.
But Smith, they talked about the minds. They talked about affirmations. And we've discussed this before. I strongly believe in this. There's nothing as such as work-life balance, right? What is work-life balance? You may say, I want to work 40 hours in a week and spend 40 hours with my kids. Somebody else may have 20, 60, whatever the ratios are. There's no such thing as work-life balance. It's all about priorities.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a simple concept. In my household, we have a rule. When we have a meal, we all have a meal together. My parents, my wife, and my kids. Whenever we have a meal together, then no phones, no TV on the table. Period. Just put it away and have a meaningful conversation at the dinner table. Does that contribute towards work-life balance? I believe it does. If I'm spending time with my boys, whether it's a play activity or going out with them, that's my building on work-life balance. But as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, if I had not worked extra hard in the first few years to establish myself, and I did compromise, I did give up some quality time with my family and my kids, I would not be where I'm at today. So realizing when to pull and when to push, that's critical. When your kids need help, whether it's the grades are suffering or they have some challenge at school, everything is to be paused. And you go head on dealing with that. So my philosophy, again, we align in a lot of these conversations, is it's not about saying, oh, I worked 40 hours, not family time. Yes, spend time with family when you're mentally engaged with them. Let's to check a box, I did this, I did that. Like my kids have some activities, and tennis, swimming, all that stuff. So when I go. I put my phone away. I'm just looking at them, watching them play, and engage with them. On the other hand, other parents are there. They're on their phones, they're surfing, whatever they're doing. So while they are there, are they really there? They may have checked the box, oh, I spent time with kids. So what I'm trying to highlight is work-life balance. None of that is relevant. It's whether you spend a minute, an hour, or a day, be present mentally and physically. That's about the mindset. And you mentioned about the seasons. I certainly want to talk about that. Anything else you want to add to this, or should we jump into your seasons?
No, there's so much to talk about it. Before we talk about, of course, the seasons, but the other thing that came to my mind when you were talking about this is also discipline. There are people, I believe, that are entrepreneurs, they don't have the discipline in life to do what needs to be done on a daily basis. And that's why a lot of them tend to have ups and downs, right? Do you feel that your stint in corporate America helped you to get disciplined?
100%. The work culture at Deloitte, the work culture at Transocean, last few years at Transocean, I had to be at my desk at 7:30 in the morning or before that. And it's a long commute and traffic. I had to leave my home by 6:15. There was no exception to that rule. That's an expectation my manager had, so I had to be there. The discipline that I got, the professionalism that I got, the confidence that I got to communicate effectively my audit findings truly has played a critical role who I am at today. And I truly believe, Smita, you can be an exceptional physician, you can be an exceptional realtor, you can be the best teacher in the world. But if we cannot communicate effectively, all those skills, all those degrees are not going to be as relevant. Okay? So being in corporate America, the discipline that I got, the profession that I got, the communication skills that I developed certainly laid the foundation. And had I jumped into being a realtor on day one, I wouldn't have been where I'm at today. So if people are listening in today and they say, you know what, let me quit college, let me not get a job, let me become a realtor, time out. You got to go to college, get your degree, get your education. Nobody can take that away. Get a job, work for someone. It may be for somebody else's vision, but when you work for a company, work for an organization, you learn the discipline of timeliness, deliverables, and all those things. So to answer your question, Smith, absolutely yes. That's why I'm where I'm at today.
100%. And I agree with it completely. I was in corporate America as well, and I truly believe that it taught me a lot the qualities, the discipline that I'm able to transfer over to my own business. So let's go back and talk about work-life balance.
I would love to do that. Let's
Yes.
do this. We keep bringing up the seasons.
Yes,
Let's put the seasons for the next week.
done.
How
Let's
about
do that. Sounds good.
But talk about, what were you going to say? You said work-life balance.
Yes,
Okay.
work-life balance.
Yes.
There is no work-life balance. I think work-life balance is a myth. And I completely
So you agree
agree
with me on
you.
this?
I totally do, but I totally agree with you that it's about quality, not quantity.
Mm-hmm.
When I see, you're absolutely correct. When people go and they're taking their kids here
I'm
and
going to
there.
interrupt you. Sorry,
Yes.
keep doing that. It's crazy, but it's as simple as this. You know, when you are talking to someone, most people are on their phone, they converse with you like this, and they say, yeah, I'm hearing you, but they're not engaged. My rule is no matter who I'm talking to, my client, customer, my parents, or my kids, if I'm not making eye contact with you, I'm not engaged. I put the phone on upside down, and then I look at them in the eye and I talk. So that's a simple discipline, right? If you're not present and engaged effectively with the person you're conversing with, you're not being real, right?
Yeah, 100%. And going back to what you were saying about your kids, and when you're there with them, you're present 100% because you're not on the phones. We actually have a rule as well for dinner. We all eat dinner together, and there are no phones involved. When the kids are in the evenings, they're with us, there are no phones involved. I don't want any phones. I don't want any distraction. I truly believe that it is the quality of conversations that you have at that time is way more than the quantity of time that you spend with them with a distraction that's around you, right? So yeah, I think work-life balance is a myth, especially if you're an entrepreneur. And you just need to figure out what's working for you.
Love it, Smita. We could go back and forth. So many topics to discuss, so many things
Yes.
to do. Do you think we should do this on a weekly basis?
Absolutely, let's do it. I have a lot that we need to dig deeper into.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll talk about some transformative topics.
Share with me or share with us some of the topics that you want to bring. Today we talked about work-life balance. We talked about real estate and your career. What are some of the things you want to cover in the future?
A lot. I want to talk about imposter syndrome.
Okay.
I want to talk about communication.
Okay.
I think we should talk about. I'm trying to think. Just it was in my mind right now. Hold on. But
Multiple topics.
lots of them.
What's the intention? Why do this?
I think it's important to have open, candid conversation about a lot of topics that could be touching a certain nerve for some people. Also, as entrepreneurs, a lot of people, even real estate agents, we don't talk about things that are beyond transactions. And I think it's important to bring that out in the open because we don't realize it, but a lot of people are going through the same thing. Another topic we should talk about is burnout. A lot of people are going through this, but there's no community that is talking about it. And I believe that this is the platform and we should be building that community together.
Love it, Smita. This was a last-minute thought. I pulled you into the studio at 9:59.
Completely impromptu.
But that's the beauty where we're committed to sharing. We have an abundance mindset that what I experience, what you experience, the journey that we've had, I truly believe sharing with other people, there's one person out there who may listen to what you shared or I shared and say, you know what, that resonates with me and that clicks with me. And if it can impact one person, that is not one person, that's generational impact that we're making. Smita, always, I love engaging with you, talking with you. Today was no exception. Sorry, I pulled you into the studio at literally, 60 seconds before you were supposed to go live, and you were phenomenal in what you shared. But I love you have a list of topics we want to cover, and let's commit on a weekly basis. Let's create some value added content, people to watch, and be more successful.
Likewise, Kunal, it is always a pleasure to have these conversations.
With me,
Yes, at times. But I think the most important thing is for us to be open and vulnerable about what we're talking. Because the more we're able to do that and share our different perspectives and sometimes similar, it really is able to bring a certain perspective and hopefully get people also to start sharing. So if you see this and you have ideas or you have thoughts about work-life balance and discipline or mindset, we would love for you to share it with us. Also, if you have topics that you'd like to talk about or like for us to start the conversation about, we'd love to hear that as well. So, Kunal, whenever this comes out, please do put it in the comments.
I will. Thank you, Smita. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.